G2s, the Capterras, the Trust Radiuses, all of those brands, those businesses, mad love for you, but they were essentially competing with you for traffic in the SERP. And when people would look for the best CRM, when people would look for the best AI optimization tool, the best content creation tool, all of these things, these sites would show up. But today, look at what is outranking all of them. Reddit.com. So those bottom of funnel queries, those highly commercial and transactional queries that your customers use that you actually are willing to spend PPC on or spend a lot of money on in a third-party review site. That traffic that used to drive a lot of ROI is now moving over to Reddit. And these are massive sites that have completely lost a significant amount of traffic on the back of the partnership that Reddit and Google has had. So they should have partnered with Google so they could have been safe, but that's beyond the point, right? It started great. It started great for sites like Capterra, but it's continuously on the decline. But Reddit is on the rise. And it's not just the review sites, right? Reddit is competing with New York Times, Wirecutter, any review site that you can think of, any bottom of funnel query you can think of. Reddit is pretty much having an overlap on the keywords, right? If I'm talking consumer, best coffee machines, 49,000 people are looking for that every single month. And guess where a lot of them are going? To Reddit, right? And you have to realize that it is okay for you to show up in these subreddits. It's okay for you to show up in these posts and reply. But you want to spend the time up front to understand what queries you're targeting that are actually showing up in Reddit as well. So when we work with our partners, we're doing this type of an analysis up front to help them understand how are we actually competing with Reddit? What are the threads that are ranking? What are the queries that matter? And how do we influence and show up there, right? You need to study these communities. You need to study the queries and the keywords that matter to your bottom line, to the MOFU and the BOFU side. And then you want to use that because you know your audience is looking for it. And Reddit shared this back in 2024. And I thought it was a fascinating insight because this came out of one of the biggest shifts that we've seen in the SERP. People, all of us, a lot of us, were adding the word Reddit directly to our queries because we didn't want the content that a bunch of SEOs wrote. And I say this as somebody who has operated in SEO for over a decade. But all of the blog posts that we were creating, all of those pieces, they ultimately led to the humans, the people realizing that these are just written by SEOs. These are written by companies telling me about things. So I'm going to modify my query with Reddit so I can hear from real people. And that is what has happened. So they've shifted it to actually start showing up.